Usually when I watch a movie, you guys get a community post about it. Maybe me doing one of these next to the movie poster. You get a preview short of me at the theater, coming out of the theater talking to you. But this was a whole different experience because I literally got told to shut the fuck up while watching this movie. Let's get to the review. What's going on, people? Alex Thorn here, and I'm just a rock and roller who likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And yeah, you heard that right. While watching this movie, less than probably 7 minutes in, the guy behind me and my buddy, who played the game, by the way, that'll come into play later, literally leaned over and said, "Hey, would you two shut up? Seriously, shut the fuck up." And brother, for the next 10 minutes, I don't know what happened on the screen after that because I kind of blacked out. I sweated and had to bring my adrenaline down because my buddy next to me said, "It's not worth it, don't do it." But your boy was ready to snatch that dude into my aisle. Oh my God. And he left before we left. That should tell you everything about how this went and how worried one person was about his actions by the end of this movie. But with all that being said, guys, now that you know my experience of what happened at this viewing, let's get to Until Dawn, the movie. So a group of friends go out to search for one of the friends' sister named Melanie, who wanted to escape this small town, experience something bigger, go to school, and of course she never comes back. So they go on their way to find her, and this has a very, and I don't know if the game is like this, but this is very much like Cabin in the Woods. And I said that when I saw the trailer to this. Here goes that. And you know, I almost felt like I was watching a sequel, even 30 minutes in past my little blackout state where I don't know what the hell happened and they got to the house. I felt like I was watching a sequel, a brand new entry into Cabin in the Woods. It even plays out like that once I started to pay attention again. And the thing about it is, from what I saw in the trailers to what I was worried about literally through almost half of the movie, was I know this group of people are going to die over and over and over again, and they need to survive until dawn. My worry was, are we going to see them die so much that we just don't care, that we don't get an attachment to these characters? But I got to be honest with you, the actors that portrayed the group in this movie are what saved this movie for me, because by what happens in the movie, there's the first night of deaths that happen that is really cool. There's almost like this slasher-esque clown-faced character who kills them all off. But then the second scenario, I believe it was the second scenario, because there's a few that play out, I just lost all interest with that second scenario. There's this like psychic girl who's with them, and it takes a hold of her, and then a bunch of stuff happens to these characters by some unseen ghost, this force, this entity that you cannot see. So everything is just happening to them, but you don't see it. You don't see anything. Especially when you get to the bathroom portion of this movie, where people just start to explode because of the water from this town. And at that point, I was just like, this is kind of going downhill fast. We're like 40 minutes in, and I'm already starting to question what's happening here. And then something happened in the movie where I was just like, wait, what? All the cool scenes that we saw in the trailer, like the worm in that girl's face, or the leech that was going in, and this thing flying, coming towards the camera, and a couple other scenarios, the way you saw them in the trailers, the way you see them in the film. Because apparently they're there for 13 nights and we couldn't see 13 nights of deaths. So we saw this like hot shot reel on one of the guy's phones that he filmed everything, and that's how we experience it, through their camera instead of seeing the scenarios. The issue is there's those scenarios that played on that phone that they all just gathered around and watched was much more interesting than anything that happened past the first night of deaths. Now, earlier I mentioned that my buddy as well had already played the game, and so he had a different perspective on this than I did, who had never played it. But by the end of a movie, and by the way, here comes a spoiler alert, everyone survives. And this is not something you're really into when it comes to, or used to when it comes to horror movies. You know, a few people die off and there's one or two characters that remain in the end. That's not what happens here. Everybody survives until dawn on the 13th night. And it was just like, this really didn't feel satisfying. And I'm gonna say this now before I give you the final verdict. Unless you go on a Tuesday where it's cheaper, I don't think you should spend your money. But let's get to the bandana rating for Until Dawn. And I'm gonna give Until Dawn, the movie, 3 bandanas out of 5. Because honestly, I had fun outside of being told to shut the fuck up. I had fun. It was mindless after a certain point. You stopped caring. I don't know how they got there, but I would say, even if you watch this at home, if it's free streaming on a service that you already pay for, then fine, watch it all. But man, I got to watch this movie for free. If I would have paid, you know, $17, $18, $20, whatever movie prices are, I would have been pretty agitated with it. But since it was free, I felt fine that I enjoyed it up until the middle of the movie. And then it just kind of went off the rails. But yeah, 3 bandanas out of 5. It was fun. It was dumb. It had a good looking cast. That's pretty much good enough for me. Guys, I don't want to bore you with a bunch of pitches for my membership or buy me a coffee or Letterboxd or even my new EP, Ruff, Cutz, that just came out last week. But if you guys are interested in any of the things I just mentioned, head down below to the description. And occasionally in this video, if you're watching mobile, there'll be pop-ups that come up here. But outside of that, guys, I'm gonna let you go early because I'm Alex Thorn and I'm gonna go rock out, watch some movies and review them for you.